Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how I organize my Pokemon investments using Google Sheets. Now if you want, you can use Microsoft Excel, but for today's example, I'm going to show you how to use Google Sheets because I personally use Google Sheets because I find it to be a little bit easier to use. But if you decide to use Microsoft Excel, you should be able to replicate it following along with this video because honestly, the way I make my Google Sheets to track all my stuff is very simple. You can make it more complicated, but I find there to be really no reason to do that. So I'm using Google Sheets today, but you can use Microsoft Excel if you want. So before I show you guys how I set up my Google Sheets, I want to explain why I believe it's important to organize all your investments and write it down somewhere. It doesn't have to be Google Sheets, Microsoft Excel. You can use paper if you want, but it's just going to be harder to add stuff and erase stuff if you sell things. So I just prefer to use a program like Google Sheets. So I think it's really important to know exactly how much you have of each product and what you paid for it because later down in the future, when you decide to sell your products, you want to know how much you paid for it. Obviously, if you're waiting, I don't know, 3 to 5 years down the road, maybe it won't matter, how much you paid for it because it's probably going to be more expensive regardless. But I just find it to be easy to do it that way because you know how much you're making off of the product. So let's say you buy a booster box for $100 now. Let's say 3 years from now, the booster box goes up to $200. So you can see how much you paid for it and how much you're making. And I find it to be a little bit more, I guess, smarter that way. So you know how much profit you're making, and also you can keep track of everything you have. So you know maybe what you want to sell, and it's all just in one place. Because let's say you just buy all your products and you throw them all in a box, and you have a lot of stuff. You might not know what you have, and I feel like then maybe you might not be making the best decisions in terms of what you're trying to maybe sell or trying to hold on to. I just think that it's important to be organized. So I want to show you guys how I make my Google Sheets to be organized. So it's going to be very simple. You might be surprised how easy it is. I know this video is probably not really that needed, but some of you guys, I asked you in my last video if you guys wanted me to show you how I do it. So I'm going to show you guys exactly pretty much how I do mine. It's really easy to do. So the first thing we're going to do here is name the Google Sheet. So all you have to do is double click it here. And on Excel, I'm not exactly sure if it's the same way. You might actually have to go into some other settings to change the name, but it shouldn't be too hard. You can search it up. But I'm going to name this just Pokemon Investments. Okay, just going to click away and I'll save it. So now I'm going to, if you want, you don't really have to. You can name the individual sheet. So I'll just name this. You can just right click it to rename it. So I'm going to rename this products and then enter. So like I said, I make mine very simple. So I only use one sheet. But if you want, you can make multiple sheets by just clicking this add button. And what I used to do, which I don't do anymore, which I actually kind of don't recommend because it's more of a hassle, but you can do it if you want. But what I used to do is I used to use multiple sheets and organize it. So I'd rename this to maybe booster boxes. So booster boxes, can't type. And then here I'd rename this to maybe elite trainer boxes. And then I would just organize every single type of product I have, but honestly, it gets way too tedious. So I personally just use one sheet. So I'm just going to delete this because I do not want this. And then I'm just going to rename this to products because I find this to be good enough. And for most of you out there, I think this will be fine. Don't overcomplicate it. Just make it easy for yourself. So now we're going to name each of these columns here. So the first column we're going to name is going to be products. This is where you're going to type the names of your products. And I'm going to do all the formatting stuff at the end just to make it more easier. So next we're going to do in the next column B here, we're going to do quantity. So quantity. Then next here, I'm going to do price per. That's basically how much for each box. So let's say you have 10 booster boxes. You're going to have the total right here. And then the quantity, I'll show you how that works. So wait, I forgot to do that. Price per. And then we're going to do total. And here you can just write total. But I wrote in parentheses as well just to be 100%, I guess, accurate and just know that it's the total of everything combined. In parentheses, I put tax plus shipping because your total cost is going to be tax plus shipping. You can't not put that in the product cost. So now I'm going to widen out these columns just because for product names you're going to have some longer names and stuff. But now what I like to do is just to make it look a bit nicer. I'll hold shift and drag across to copy all this stuff. And then I'm going to boldface it, and then here I'm going to put everything in the middle, center it so it just looks nicer. So that's basically it. That's all the columns I have. It's pretty simple. And if you want, what I did actually, because your total here is going to not be, I mean, unless you have like tens of thousands of dollars, it's not going to take up this space. What I do just for formatting purposes, I'll actually make this a little bit smaller, and just kind of make it like this so that it looks a little bit nicer. Just formatting stuff, you don't have to do all that, but I just do that just to make it look nicer. And then now basically all you have to do is type in your stuff. And then there's this one formula here you're going to use for price per. You could write this as unit price or whatever, but I just put price per. So here, all I'm going to do is do a product price or a product name. So I'm just going to make something up. Let's say I have Evolving Skies booster boxes. Okay, that's pretty much it. And then here in the quantity, let's put like multiple, put 5. And let's say I got lucky and I bought this early on and I was able to do it for, I don't know, $500. Now, if you want, you can put this into a sort of label, like money wise. You can form it as currency, and you can change the decimal places if you want to show cents or not. I personally don't really care to show cents, but yeah, because all my stuff I pretty much round up. So if you want to get rid of this, you can just go and press it to move the decimal place. Doesn't really matter. But anyways, now all you have to do for price per is you have to just do a quick formula here. So you press equals. This is the same for Excel to make a formula. So all you really have to do to make it easy is click this box, because you're going to divide the total by the quantity. So do this, then do a / to divide by this box and press enter. Then you get price per. And I'm just going to show you how to make it easier for yourself. You don't have to do this for every single product. It's going to be very easy. So let's say now I have some Silver Tempest booster boxes, and I'm going to make the quantity 2, make the total here like $200, okay? And we'll just make it the same here. Okay, so now all you have to do is just drag it down. You can see here where this dot is, just drag it down. Very simple. And then you get the price. And you can see if I decide to change the total or whatever, it'll change automatically for me. Anything I change here, it'll automatically change this. So it's very easy to use. So if you decide, let's say you buy more Evolving Skies booster boxes, let's say your total goes up to $1,000, but you only bought one more because it's more expensive now. All you're going to do is change it, and then it does everything for you. It's very simple. So all you have to do is just drag down, and it'll do the formula for you. It's pretty smart, so that's really nice to have. So now for the final thing I'm going to show you, just when you're done with putting all your products in, how I like to do the final part here, just to make it a little bit nicer, just to know exactly how much you have, I guess, of total products, or just total money if you spent on Pokemon products. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a line on the bottom here, so that it's going to show just that it's ended. So here, I'm going to go up here and put a top border. So you can see here it's created a border just to separate the total from all the products. Then on the bottom here, I'm just going to write total. Very simple. And you can boldface this if you want, since it is a total. And then here, I'm going to just obviously, I'm going to make another formula, actually, just to make it easier. So this one, I guess, it's not any more complicated. I mean, it already shows it's pretty smart with knowing that. But here, you would actually have to do a sum, and then put a parenthesis. And then you can do this and drag down, and then press enter, and then you got your total. It's pretty simple to use. And then here, you're going to do the same thing for the total here. Here was the quantity, now we're going to do the total. Same thing, press equals, sum, and then you're going to just click and then drag down, and then that's it. And that's exactly how I organize all of my products. I just do this, and obviously if you need to add more columns, let's say you had all of your rows filled up and you bought another product, all you have to do is click on any box like over the line, and then I'm going to insert a column or a row above. And you can see you just keep, just adding onto it as you get more products, and as you add more stuff here, and you have the quantity here, and you add the total. Let's say $200. I just want to show you guys so you guys can get used to this, and then just drag it down. It's very simple. This is the best way I feel like to do this. It's very simple, straightforward, and this is how I organize my stuff. So if you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful to organize your stuff, and hopefully you guys do this yourself. If you have not started doing this, I really recommend you start it now if you're going to continue to buy products. If you have a lot, yes, this might be a hassle, then maybe you don't want to do it. But if you're just starting to invest, please, I really recommend you doing this. I think it's very helpful. So yeah, that's the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.